Low are an American slowcore band that have been around for 25 years at this point. That's a pretty long friggin' time, and their debut album came out in 1994. I Could Live in Hope. Their sound is very much slowcore driven, very much just sluggish, kind of patient testing music that is actually quite interesting to listen to. Can't say I've ever been the biggest fan, but I appreciate their sound. I appreciate the atmosphere they're able to conjure up. They have other classic albums as well, like Things We Lost in the Fire, and Ones and Sixes, which was their last album, saw pretty much a decent success as well. Now the slowcore sound is not really the thing I'm all that for, to be honest. I appreciate bands like Galaxy 500. I think they are a little bit better than Low, and also Mark Koslick's earliest work with Red House Painters is way more emotionally potent to me anyway, and I've just always enjoyed that a lot more than I have with Low. However, this new Low album, I think, was kind of dead set to be more appealing to a person like me, considering that they've pretty much changed up their sound quite a bit and added some new ideas into the mix. They've added these glitchy electronic synth elements to the mix. That is quite a new and interesting idea for Low, I think. I mean, I haven't heard every album. They've done 12 at this point, 12 friggin' albums, which is a lot. So if they've done this before, I do apologise because I may have missed it. But it seems as though that this idea seems pretty driven and unique for this album. Now here's the thing though, I do think it works at times, and other times it really falls quite flat for me. I mean, I do appreciate the aesthetic of this album. It's quite pleasing at times to listen to with the electronic glitchiness, but other times it honestly feels kind of crap. Like, take the opening track for instance. This track has so many layers and textures. It totally reminds me of something that came from the last Bon Iver album, 22 A Million. I feel like this is going to be a reference point for a lot of people when they talk about this album. But it is very reminiscent of that sound. It's very much scattered. It's very James Blakey in the way it's been produced, and it has quite an interesting like feel to it, and you're kind of wondering where the album's going to go from there. And then after that, I don't feel like any of the other tracks live up to that opening track, to be honest, up until the closing track, which follows the same kind of distorted pattern to it that just is really hard to follow with your ears, but is actually cool to listen to at the same time. Everything else in the middle just sort of is the same ambient, patient testing slowcore that they've done like all this time, with a bit of electronic flair to it that isn't really that colourful. Kind of like that last National album, like some of the vocal performances just feel really empty, and you know, some of the airy, spacey, washed out instrumentals have like no life to them whatsoever. Like, I don't know what's so exciting about this. And I know that it's not supposed to be invigorating or adventurous or whatever, but like, I think if you're gonna have these ambient bass tracks, like, you need something to them, or they just go by without any sort of impact at all. The Sun is a perfect example of that. That track, man, just had nothing to it. Like, it had nothing, and I don't know what they're aiming for here exactly, but I just felt nothing when it was on. Like, I don't know. Like, just think of how John Hopkins was able to craft Singularity, you know? Each track had so many glitchy, sparkling moments that had so much oomph to them. And on this album, like, I feel like they're not really hitting hard at all. And some of the effects placed on the vocals too are so poor, like on Poor Sucker. Like, they feel so tacked on and out of place, like, holy shit. And then there's Tempest as well, which is an absolute diabolical song. Like, seriously, I cannot believe how awful this track sounds. The vocals here and the mixing, yeah, I can't help but feel like they're just kind of pushing themselves in this sound and feeling like they're doing something way above what they're actually doing. Just all feels very self-congratulating to me, and the lyrics aren't exactly the most compelling thing either. I do think the vocal performance on Fly, though, is really, really nice. Mimi Parker's voice on this track is absolutely beautiful and blissful. It's really one of the few times that the vocals stun me, though. Much of the time I kind of feel as though they could have had a little bit more character to them. Like, sure, the male vocalist as well who comes through, Alan, I believe his name is, like, yeah, when they harmonize, they sound like gorgeous together, but I don't know, I just feel like I need a bit more than just harmonized vocals to be kept compelled with music, to be honest. And the lyrics that just often feel unnecessarily abstract throughout the whole album, even on tracks like Quorum, which is one of my favorites here, I still can't decipher anything from the lyrics without it feeling really just intentionally vivid imagery. Ooh. The whole album just comes across incredibly ostentatious to me. The soundscapes don't really have that much bite to them, and yeah, just not really feeling this. Sorry for being so negative, just how I feel. I'm sure a lot of people are going to love this album, and that's okay. You can tell me why you love it in the comments, tell me why I'm wrong. But yeah, just this doesn't work for me. I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 10. A couple of good tracks here, but yeah, most of this flies by me without any kind of landing at all. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have a good day. Hope you enjoyed this review. Have a good day. Yeah.